Heavens have opened up at our place. At 9 o'clock.
9 bells.
All right. Good morning. I am Mario Gangemi, the chairman of the MDTA Capital Committee, and will be conducting this morning's meeting. I hereby call the meeting of the Capital Committee to order at 9 a.m. In accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting will be conducted via video conference and being live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. Member Cox is calling in due to technical difficulties, so we won't be seeing him on the screen. To minimize background noise during this meeting, we ask that everyone on the line mute your phones, and that when you are presenting or answering questions, you turn your video and audio on, and then as soon as you're done, to turn your video off and audio to mute. We do not have members of the public or elected officials or media pre-registered to comment on today's meeting. Therefore, we will move on to agenda item 1, which is approval of the meeting minutes, open session meeting minutes of March 3rd, 2002. So I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Take your pick.
I'm going to give member Gaines the move and member Enzer the second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have that. So now Brian can tell us about KH 30350000R, the I-95 ETL northbound extension, specifically the Raphael Road forest mitigation. Brian, you're on.
All right. Good morning, members. For the record, my name is Brian Wolf. I am Director of Project Development for Office of Engineering and Construction. I'm here today to present KH 30350000R. This is the offsite reforestation contract as part of the ETL program. And the work is going to be performed at the MDTA property that is owned along Raphael Road in Baltimore County. And the work will include tree planting, as well as removal and installation of tree protection and a 2-year maintenance period to monitor the trees. The contract was procured using an invitation for bids process and the typical low bid construction project. The engineer's estimate for the contract was $867,370. We advertised in January 10th of this year. We received bids on March 2nd, and we received 5 bids on the contract. The low bid was from Ed's Plant World Incorporated in the amount of $566,190. And we are recommending award of this contract to Ed's Plant World. The bid price was 35% below the engineer's estimate, and we did do a justification. The MBE goal was set at 8% with no sub-goals. And Ed's Plant World has submitted an MBE plan with 8%, and that is currently pending approval from our Civil Rights and Fair Practices group. Ed's Plant World has an extensive history working with the authority. They are working on several of our contracts, including our KH 3009 contract, as well as some of our previous contracts up and down the ETL corridor. We do anticipate an NTP in May of this year and a completion date of December 1st of 2024. And we are seeking a recommended approval from the Capital Committee so we may present to the full board in anticipation of the contract award. And I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Anyone have any questions? Looks like Member Gaines does. You're on mute. Oh,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah. I know in some other phases of this Design 95 work, we've had to use sole source bids for this type for the reforestation, and is the fact that I guess the reason we were able to get 5 bids on this one is because we were using our property. Is that it? Because it's certainly much more desirous to have.
were they reforestations or were they wetland mitigations?
No, they were wetlands, I guess I'm thinking of, right. I guess you still need, yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm just guessing. Brian can answer that better than I can, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so the ETL programs had a mix of reforestation within project limits, but then we've also done mitigation offsite. So for instance, our one contract at the Carson's Run mitigation location, there was some tree restoration there, but it was predominantly a stream restoration project, but it had some tree planting in it. This particular contract is solely for tree mitigation.
Hey, Brian, just to confirm, kind of to Member Gangemi's point, the only sole source that you've had for the ETL program is the NextEra contract for offsite wetland mitigation, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the only sole source has been the Eccleston mitigation site.
Yeah, just like the Carson's Run project was bid and had multiple bidders.
That was a low bid project, correct?
All right.
Thanks.
Good. Thank you.
All right, then, any other questions, or do I hear a motion for?
To approve.
All right, Member Cox move,
I'll second.
Member Gaines seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Well, then now we can move to Shushmita.
Member Gangemi, pardon me. Sorry, Shishmita. I just, for the minutes and for the record, I'm going to need to recuse myself from this contract. Thank you.
Understood. We'll miss you. Go ahead.
Good morning, members. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Sushmita Mitra, the Acting Director of Engineering for Office of Engineering and Construction. And this morning, I'm going to present contract number MDTA 2021-01A, Comprehensive Preliminary Engineering and Final Design Services. So this is our Comprehensive and Preliminary Engineering and Final Design Services contract, which we advertise for construction contract documented preparation. The project involves the award of 9 contracts for comprehensive engineering and final design services for MDTA. The consultant's work shall perform preliminary and final design services associated with the preparation of construction contract plans and documents. The work shall include but not be limited to structural engineering, highway engineering, traffic engineering and MOT, ITS and electrical engineering, environmental, compliance and permitting, surveys, right-of-way, geotech, testing and drilling services, various mechanical and electrical engineering services related to bridges, highway or facilities, condition inspection, project delivery analysis, traffic revenue analysis, financial and project planning, program management, and among other things, also Phase 5 services for construction contracts. So these contracts were advertised in form of an RFP. An RFP was developed and it was advertised on February 1 of 2021. The engineering office, we created a panel to evaluate these contracts, and we have evaluated 12 technical proposals, from which we selected 9 for award. The anticipated NTP date of this contract is in May of 2022. During advertisement, the MBE goal for this contract was set at 24% overall MBE with 7% African American, and 10% women-owned business sub-goals. It was also advertised with a 1% VSBE goal. Of the 9 technical proposals, of the 12 technical proposals that were submitted to us, 9 of them were selected, and for a total award amount of $75 million. The awarded consulting firms are Arcane K, JMT, Whitman Record Associates, WBCM Dewberry Joint Venture, AECOM Wallace Montgomery Joint Venture, STV and Jacobs Joint Venture, WSP and Prime Joint Venture, KCI and Pennoni Joint Venture, and last but not the least, Stantec, Mead and Hunt, and Hardesty Hanover Joint Ventures. Today, I am seeking contingent approval to take these contracts to the full MDTA board for their approval so that we can take them to BPW in May.
Sushmita, thank you for that. I guess one of the things that might be helpful for me is we have several of these open-ended contracts with different engineering services. It might be worth at one of our future meetings kind of going through that so that we understand the different contracts that we have out there that are open-ended like this.
Sure, we can definitely do like an informational summary to see, like, to discuss what kind of contracts we advertise.
I had a question. You said the total amount was 75 million. I mean, how did we come up with that number? Did we start with 75 million and decide how to cut the cake, or did we look at all these? I mean, it just seems like kind of everyone looked like everyone. How many other people submitted? Did everyone get a piece of this, or did were there some engineering firms that were not let into the prize?
So when we initially started the procurement, so we have like we have a burn rate for these contracts, and we know approximately in 3 to 5 years what is the amount of estimated dollar value we spent on design. So based on the previous comprehensives that we had advertised, the total that we started with was close to 80 million. That is what we went to MDOT for approval, and so of that. We set aside a certain amount for an SBR contract, which is going to be advertised soon, which was not advertised in tandem with this. So this one was like a regular advertisement with an MBE goal. Mm-hmm. So we set aside 75 million for this, and the RFP indicated that we will award up to 9 contracts with with the award amount between $5 to $12 million.
So that was decided ahead of time. That was in the bid.
Yes.
That was in the bid specifications. I see. And so, and they're all bidding, I guess, hourly rates. Is that it? Pretty much for design and different engineering tasks. So, I mean, how do we differentiate between them? Just on the reputation of the firms?
We do technical proposals. So the RFP had, the RFP is, first of all, the RFP gives the information on what the contract value is, how much duration it is, but it also has technical requirements that they have to fulfill. And there is also technical documentation and presentation that they have to do. For this one specifically, they had to answer some technical questions that were asked, which were in form of like a project. Sample project that was given, for which they will provide like a sample design or a solution, and that is pretty extensive. And then their organizational structure, and also their work plan, how they work on certain kind of projects, that was also sought. So there is a detailed technical presentation and a detailed technical proposal that was actually solicited through the RFP. And once they submit that, which also includes the detail of their organizational structure. During the evaluation, we do not evaluate based on the price. We evaluate totally based on the qualification of their the key personnel and the qualification of their teams and their experience in the particular field based on what they submit.
It seems to me, rather than their technical proposals, what they've done for you in the past is probably a better indication of whether we want them or not. I mean, I guess that's got to weigh into it. I mean, I think most of these firms, probably all of them, have worked for us. Is that right?
So I think by MDOT laws, we specifically cannot give them extra, we cannot give them extra credit for having done work for MDTA or MDOT. That is how the procurement laws work. But we do give them credit for doing work which is of similar and nature or of the same amount of complexity. For example, we have extensive expressway and freeways. We have tunnels and tolling facilities. We have signature bridges. So firms which have extensive experience in those kind of complex fields, definitely, and they have to also demonstrate that in their technical proposal, they get rated high.
Are all these proposers, or when you award them, are they targeted to certain jobs? I guess they are they, or not? You're not sure yet how you're going to use them?
We do have, because I think, I think we are fortunate in one way that we always have a lot of work that needs to be done. So I think certain jobs, I think we know that, we need them to start immediately, or we have projects or programs in the CTP that we want them to get started, as soon as, they get awarded. But no, the entirety, we do have an idea, but obviously everything is not planned. Like the entire 75 million is not
planned yet. Yeah.
Not planned yet.
So their technical proposals are really for everything. It's not like they're going to specialize in certain ones, right? Okay, thank you.
I want to ask Member Gaines' question a little bit different way. If we had of the 12 people that submitted, if there was somebody on the list who maybe hasn't performed all that well for us in the past, I mean, is there a way to grade them down a little bit? I guess we don't want that. We don't want that service again, I would assume.
Yes, if we do have, I think there is a way to look at that. There is a way to, I think, work with Office of Procurement on that. But we have to have a documented reference to that. And I think I have Donna there. Donna?
She did. She popped on. All right, Donna.
Morning. Yes, so as part of their experience qualifications, they would provide resumes and we would check references. So, they may, if they don't pan out, obviously they would be scored down in that category of work only as part of the evaluation process.
So there is a way. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? Well, then I will entertain a motion for contingent approval since the board has to approve this.
So moved.
All right. So Member Gaines has made the motion to approve.
Second.
Second, Member Enzer. Is there any further discussion? All right, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any nays? Great. Well, Shushmita, thank you very much. I think, does everybody else in the board or the committee agree with my question about maybe we need to understand what all these different open-ended contracts are?
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like we're talking about the same one, but I know it's a little bit different. So that would be helpful. Great.
I think you're on the right trail.
Mr. Harkness, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I just want to, make sure that, it's clear. We'll bring that to you next month, and it'll be a listing of all our existing open contracts. And we can also discuss, any planned future AE solicitations.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
So Jim, that'll be engineering as well as construction. I mean, you have contractors, because the contractors bid these open-end things too. So I get a tally of all that. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll bring all of our AEs, which cover the CMIs, the construction CMIs, and so we'll bring a complete listing of that. And you'll find a lot of the firms that do CMI are also doing engineering design.
I think what Member Gaines is also saying, there's also some open-ended, like structural repairs, for example. I think we did that one not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So that wouldn't necessarily be an AE firm.
No, right. So those are our on-call contracts, or task-based. So you're looking for a listing of those as well?
Yeah. We just want to understand it. We're not necessarily questioning what you guys are doing. We just want to understand it. That's all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd like a listing of that too. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay. No
Great.
problem.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's that closes all the business we had planned for the day. So thank everybody, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So
Second.
moved by Member Cox, seconded by Member Gaines. Member Gaines was being gracious. He was holding it. He was holding it for Member Cox. I assume there's no discussion on that. So all in favor of adjourning? Aye.
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 And
See everybody.
All right, everybody be safe. Thanks, Natalie, for getting us
Thank
set
you.
up.
Thanks, Natalie.